We've had quite a few clients retain us after firing their paralegal or lawyer who they hired to fight their driving under suspension case. Firing a paralegal or a lawyer is really not a great experience. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of energy and money. And the worst part, hiring the wrong legal representation can have a huge and potentially permanent negative impact on your driving suspension case. This is a big deal, especially given how severe the penalties are for driving under suspension. These penalties include a mandatory 6-month driving suspension, and in some cases include jail time. In this video, I'm going to cover 4 things that you should watch out for so you don't hire the wrong legal representation. First is the guaranteed result. The biggest red flag you will ever hear from a paralegal or lawyer is when they give you a guarantee of a result. Guaranteed results are impossible to give. It's not ethical and it's not legal to give a guarantee. The reasons why are obvious. You're driving under suspension charge, it's under the control of a prosecutor. And the ultimate decision maker in your case is a justice of the peace. These prosecutors and justices of the peace, they have a job to do, and all their decisions are subject to strict legal guidelines. Bottom line, the outcome of your case is not under the control of the paralegal or lawyer giving you the guarantee. So it's impossible to give a guarantee when you don't have control over the outcome. A guarantee is a huge red flag. You should look elsewhere for representation. 2, the 98% success rate. A close second in the red flag territory is when a paralegal or lawyer gives you a percentage success rate. On the surface, quoting a success seems logical. I mean, if they're successful 98% of the time, then in theory, they want you to believe there is a 98% chance of success with your driving suspension case. The problem is that argument doesn't make sense and it's not ethical. I mean, first, a success rate in the context of driving under a suspension charge does not make sense. I mean, what success? Is it a case withdrawn? Is it going to trial or not going to trial? Is it getting to a plea agreement? In a second, how can you verify that success rate? What you'll find when you ask questions is that there is no way to back up these numbers. They're simply made up. And last, and most importantly, the fact that a paralegal or lawyer has a high success rate does not mean that they will be successful in your case. In other words, if the paralegal or lawyer is quote unquote 98% successful, then you may fall into that 2% failure rate. Every situation is different. For example, the facts in your case, which court you're in, which prosecutor is handling your case, etc., etc. And the outcome of your case will be dependent upon those many factors and many more. And that outcome does not match up with a success number. So if the person you're speaking to gives you a success percentage, that's a red flag and you should look elsewhere for legal representation. 3, a really low price. The legal market for driving suspension cases in Ontario, it's very competitive, which is a really good thing. And it makes sense to speak with several lawyers to determine how they can help you. And of course, you should be getting quotes on how much the legal fees will be to fight your case. The price you get should be competitive, that's for sure. But if one price is just so far below the other fees you've been quoted, that's a red flag. If the price is too low, it may indicate that the lawyer is not investing the time and effort needed to get the best result for you. So be careful when you get a super low price. And the 4th red flag you should look out for is called the hire me today to keep the price. And again, this is a red flag. If a driving while suspended lawyer or paralegal tells you that they will keep the price they quoted you if they receive a payment today, it's a red flag, and here's why. Law firms are businesses, and all lawyers, we want to close more clients, of course. But choosing a lawyer is an important decision. And you don't want to be pressured into making that important decision by anyone. A good lawyer will always encourage you to take the time to make the right decision for you. And if you're speaking to a lawyer or a paralegal, if they're pushing you to send money urgently, that's likely the wrong person for your driving while under suspension case. If you're charged with driving under suspension, it's important to know that it's very easy for the courts to convict you. And if that happens, you're facing a mandatory 6-month driving suspension, and in some cases, you may face jail time. However, there are strategies to save you from a driving suspension, and if jail's on the table, there are strategies to fight that too. Reach out if you want to have a confidential and free discussion about your case.